Rally North Wales would also play host to the opening round of the Mini Rally Challenge. Supporters of our show for this season, and on this rally the crews would take on half of the overall event mileage. The leaderboard over the rally would remain close, no clear victor being decided early on. It would, however, be a win at the opening round for Jacob Neal and Russell Thompson as they reach the end of the fourth and final stage of their event, with the lead to take maximum points to start their campaign. They hadn't led from the start though. Tom and Sue Hind had that privilege, actually putting in a fastest time on the opening stage and holding on to that for the next, eventually dropping down to second on stage 3. For Gareth Humphries and Adam Burkill, meanwhile, it would be a good end to the rally. The final step on the podium, to be exact. They'd been down a position in 4th through the morning stages, but they managed to get themselves onto that podium and get some good points on the board to start their season. George Clark and Stephen Moises will be getting in on the action as well, moving around that leaderboard. They gain a position through the later stages to end the rally with 4th. This pair, Mark Jones and Michael Munday, part of the reason for some of that movement at least. They were another crew who'd been up in 2nd place, our 3rd crew to hold that spot in fact. But they would, unfortunately for them, lose some time as the day went on, ending the event in 5th. Just behind them by the finish would be a very consistent and pretty pleased Guy Butler and Julia Perry. The pair actually the only ones to hold their position all day, ending exactly where they'd started, in that respectable 6th place overall. And with the top of the results being filled out by the more powerful R53 minis, it will be Jack Birch and Mike Jode ending the rally in 7th place overall and the best of the R50 class. So the first round of the Mini Rally Challenge is under our belts. A reminder of those final results here on Rally North Wales. The SMC stages would be the first time this season on the asphalt for the Mini Rally Challenge. And it would be well supported too. 16 mini crews taking to the start line for a mini adventure here at Anglesey Circuit. Sorry about the mini adventure thing, had to squeeze it in somewhere. Taking the early lead will be George Clark and Stephen Moises. The pair start the day as they mean to go on as well, and despite a few battles along the way, they'd end the morning with a 38-second lead. They had been in a good fight with Jacob Neal and Russell Thompson, but brake problems would be hampering this pair in the morning. Smoke pouring from the brakes at times, but worse was to come when their head gasket went on stage 4, putting them out of the rally. 2nd place now then would be in the hands of Guy Butler and Oliver Waggett. They'd had a bit of an advantage in that position themselves, a comfort margin of 24 seconds over 3rd place. They were using it well. And in that 3rd place were Wesley Guilford and Andrew Millington. The unusual thing about that was the pair were only in one of the R50 minis, the entry-level category, and they were mixing it with the higher-powered R53 cars. Not that they were complaining, of course, as they had to settle into that final step on the podium and in the class lead. They'd have to keep an eye on their rear-view mirrors, though, figuratively speaking, as Tony Webb and David Robinson were not far behind. Just 8 seconds the difference. They'd, of course, have that podium in their sights as they go into the afternoon stages here at Anglesey. Martin Williams and Martin Allwood would have a bit of an issue with the car cutting out. Thankfully, before the stage and not on it. They end the morning 5th place overall. And Gareth Humphries with Adam Burkill alongside must have thought he was in a classic mini and not an R53, forgetting how wide the car was and clipping a tractor tyre on the 2nd stage, damaging the steering in the process. They do get the car through the stage and back to service for the service crew to get to work on getting them back out on the stages once again. For Mark Turner and Robert Wiggins, it would be 7th place overall. They were 18 seconds off Humphries up ahead, but they'd have to keep an eye behind them on those results. because chasing them down would be this man, Jack Birch, Mike Joad alongside. They were going well. They'd had their fair share of problems, breaking a shock, for example, on the first stage of the day, but thankfully managing to get a new one from a fellow competitor. Such is the camaraderie as well as the competition in this championship. They get back out to lie in 8th place by the midpoint of the rally, second of the R50 crews at this stage as well. And 3rd place in our R50 crews here in the Mini Rally Challenge were Owen Kuehl and Matthew Walk. They had around a minute to Birch up ahead, so it would be a big ask to take that position through the afternoon on stage times alone. But we all know that, well, anything could happen, particularly on a rally like this one here at Anglesey. Rounding out the top 10 for now will be Florence Butler and Paul Stringer. Florence stepping up from the juniors to compete in selected rounds of the series this year, and clearly going well, as you can see. 7 seconds back, just outside the top 10, will be Mark Christopher and Kevin Watkins. Meanwhile, though, the pair 4th in the R50 class, 11th place overall. John Clayton and Christian Brown had been near the top of the leaderboard at the start of the day, but unfortunately for them, they'd take up ploughing on stage 4, getting stuck on the wet grass and dropping down the results to 12th overall. Clayton and Brown were one pair getting away with just a bit of time lost, but it wasn't the same story for Tom Hind. They'd had a few teething issues, but the real problem will be the clutch going on stage 2, putting an early end to their rally. So the morning stage is complete. Here's how the leaderboard is shaping up in the Mini Rally Challenge. Back out onto the afternoon stages then here at Anglesey, and there'd be a few positions dropped for Florence Butler and Paul Stringer. They'd had a few issues with fuel through the afternoon, ending the rally with 13th place. For Kevin Ablett and Graham Child, it would be a place gained in the afternoon, ending the day with 12th on the leaderboard. And just ahead on the overall and class results will be Mark Christopher and Kevin Watkins. They take 11th place overall here at round 2. On to the top 10, and it would be that 10th place finish for John Day and William Brown. They gained 4 positions through the afternoon to get a good result this weekend. It was a similar story as well. Smiles all round for John Clayton and Christian Brown. The pair moving their way up the overall results into 9th place this weekend. This is rallying though, and the afternoon stages wouldn't be kind to everyone. We'd lose Jack Birch and Mike Joad. They were so close to a good result when the clutch gave up on the final stage of the rally, giving the crew a non-finish. That, though, would play into the hands of a few crews, not least Owen Kuehl and Matthew Walk. They gain a position overall to take 8th. That enough for 2nd in the R50 category here in the Mini Rally Challenge as well. Gareth Humphries and Adam Burkill, meanwhile, will be having a few issues with the fueling in the car, but they do manage to get through the afternoon stages just. Only 1 place dropped as well, taking 7th. And gaining that position that the previous crew had now vacated due to those issues with the fueling will be Mark Turner and Robert Wiggins. A bit of stage time merit thrown in there for good measure as well. It wasn't all good luck. They'd be happy to take 6th place overall this weekend, just 2 seconds in it by the finish as well. And the newly built car went well all day for Martin Williams and Martin Allwood. They were able to take 5th place overall by the end of the rally. There was frustration, though, for Wesley Guilford and Andrew Millington. Despite a valiant effort, it wasn't the overall podium position they came here looking for, or indeed looked like they were on for. They dropped down a place into 4th, but the real battle was in the R50 class, and it's safe to say that they did everything they needed to secure that class win today, and with it, a very impressive eyebrow-raising finish as well. We're on to the podium positions then, and it would be a 3rd place finish for Tony Webb and David Robinson, gaining that position to finish with a strong result and some good points on the board, perhaps more importantly here at round 2. No change though to 2nd place. Guy Butler and Oliver Waggett still hard charging and remaining there throughout the afternoon. More than happy with their results, getting the most out of the tyres as well. Well, there wasn't much left on them by the end of the rally. So that means that taking victory here in the Mini Rally Challenge will be George Clark and Stephen Moises. They keep hold of their commanding lead throughout the day, taking those maximum points to add to their tally here at Anglesey. Another entertaining day, and round 2 of the Mini Rally Challenge comes to a close. Here's a reminder of those overall results. Next up, our crews head to the Isle of Man for the Manx Rally, a real test of crew and car, and a legendary place to do battle for round 3.
George, taking the win here at Anglesey then, you must be very pleased.
Yeah, very happy, very happy. Good competition, so no, thrilled, really thrilled.
Yeah, it's been a great competition and a battle all day with the 53s today. Has it been all plain sailing for you though?
No, not really. The first 3 stages, we had a good battle with John Clayton and Jacob Neal. They had a few issues towards the end, which was a bit of a shame because it left that battle out, but at the end of the day, it's rallying, isn't it?
Guy, Oliver, fantastic result for you. 2nd place here in the Minis today on the 53s. You must be pleased with that.
Thrilled, good consistent day, car's been perfect. Ollie's been giving me a bit of tuition, even though he's about half my age, or younger than half my age, but really useful having that, and good day.
He knows his way around here, doesn't he?
Well, I think he's quite handy. I don't know, even though he's about 12, but there we go.
Yeah. Tony, Dave, 3rd place here today in the Minis. Yep. You've got to be pleased with that on your first time out.
Yeah, first time out, first time in the car, new build car, first time with Dave.
New crew.
Couldn't have gone better really, but really happy with it.
Wesley, Andrew, bringing home 1st place in the Minis today in the 50s. You've got to be happy with that.
We're absolutely thrilled with it. Yeah, we had a bit of a tough time on the on North Wales with the broken parts and things. So we came here with a bit of something to prove a little bit, didn't we? But we've put in times a lot better than we expected, and quite honestly, I don't really know how on earth we did it. But yeah, really thrilled today. Yeah.
Owen, Matt, 2nd place in the R50s today. A bit of a surprise for you at the end here, by the sounds of things, Owen.
Yeah, we lost so much time on, I think, stage 3 with the driver being an idiot that we were chasing up. We just, we got back on pace and everything. And, unfortunately, the guy we're chasing just had a little bit of issue, but we got all the way back up to 2nd place, and I'm actually dumbfounded.
Fantastic stuff. And you guided him through the stage as well? No problems?
Yeah, he listens all right sometimes.
You tell him that's a good point.
Yeah, he's driven really well today, and for a standard car he's built at home himself pretty much. It's done really well. Not that's down. So
yeah. Guy was telling us actually that this car was built on the driveway, basically at your house. Cheap motorsport at its best, surely.
I've done an assortment of stuff over the years, and yes, over the last, I think when it was first announced a challenge, I actually started building, and it took me about 2 years. I actually drive this car to work some days and all the rest of it. And it was built in the driveway, completely in the driveway, and cheap motorsport, this is proof. Yeah. Like a car that I just built in the driveway and use it for work sometimes in the past, and just whatever.
Well, a bit of a surprise 3rd place in the end for you. A good surprise, though, I take it.
Yeah, it was good. I think we just lucked in. Unfortunately, the guys, I think their clutch went literally at the last lap of appeared like the last lap of the stage. So it's unfortunate for them, but yeah, we've lucked in. So yeah, happy with that. First time out in the car, a few teething problems initially, just getting used to it, but yeah, pleased. Overall, really enjoyed it.